We survived, fam. We survived the newborn stage. Welcome back. I'm alive. I'm so excited to be here. This is like the first day I'm really like sitting down to film YouTube videos, and honestly like the entire 8 weeks that my child has been alive. So it feels really good to have a full filming day today. I asked you guys what you wanted to see from me, and you said a get ready with me / life updates. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm diving right in. I honestly haven't done makeup on camera and tried to talk and tell you guys stories at the same time in a long time, but buckle up, it's gonna be a long video. Grab a snack, grab a drink, let's hang out together and let's catch up. Okay, with that being said, I'm not even gonna do like a makeup tutorial here. I can list products down below if I remember to, but I will show you guys what I'm using. Some new stuff, some old shit you've probably seen before, but let's put stuff on this face. I literally just had to like pluck my eyebrows and like shave my mustache because self-grooming, not a thing when you're a new mom. It just, you don't have the time to do it. But I do have a theme to today's video because I thought like let's like figure out a way to contain my thoughts. So I'm gonna tell you guys 10 lessons that I learned in my newborn's first 8 weeks. So just 10 things that I now know about motherhood, essentially. And I'm gonna start putting things on my face. I'm gonna start with my face. I'm gonna use this Essence Prime Studio. This is like a hydrating primer, so we'll start with that. So, number one, first thing that I learned, like I said, my son Hayden was born on August 11th. If you guys haven't seen, I have a little birth vlog up on my channel, and then I've done like tons of postpartum updates on Instagram. So if you guys are like, where have you been? Definitely go check me out on Instagram or TikTok. All my vlogs are up there. Okay, and then next we're gonna go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is just gives you like a beautiful glow underneath your foundation. So I kind of just put that like where I would normally put my highlighter too, like that. And then you could blend this in with like a beauty blender or a brush. I just use my hands because why not? Hopefully that's picking up on camera, a little glow there. Okay, and then before we get into the tips, this is the one new thing I'm using. I tried the L'Oreal True Match. I feel like this has been around forever. This is a drugstore foundation. I'm in W2.5. It was cute. It was cute. It worked. I feel like everyone's used this. This has been around for like literally ever, and I needed a new like drugstore foundation. So let's start with the tips. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about, okay, one lesson I learned. Literally find any means necessary to sleep in those first few weeks, because sleep deprivation is like literally the killer of all things. Sleep deprivation is like what triggered like I think the postpartum blues for me. It was the hardest part to get through. Like it just, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. It's insane, and it's like you are just a zombie every single day, and I don't know how I did it, but you do. You just literally go into survival mode, which is what everybody tells you. So when I say sleep by any means necessary, in the beginning we were doing combo feeding formula and breastfeeding, and I was pumping a lot. So Brian and I were like switching on and off doing bottle feeding at night, but you're just waking up so much because they're eating so much. So neither of us was really getting sleep. So honestly, like what ended up helping now in retrospect is when my parents would come over to just like watch Hayden for a little bit, I would nap during that time. So like anytime you can nap, like, and I'm not a good napper. Like people say like sleep when the baby sleeps. That like did not happen for me, but I really had to like force myself to try to nap if I could. And then I would say if you have a partner, rotating on and off. So like sometimes on the weekends or whatever, he had 3 weeks of paternity leave. He would take like the morning shift, and then he would take Hayden like downstairs into the living room, and then I would sleep in till like 10 a.m. or something like that. So literally sleep whenever you can by any means necessary in those first few weeks. I'm just going in with the Match Sticks from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Mocha, little contour vibe. Okay, and lesson number 2, and this is a big one. I wrote down surrender to the process. Mindset is literally everything. Like in the beginning, I was in total like, woe is me mode. This is literally the fucking worst. I'm suffering so bad, like sleep deprivation. This is horrible. Like how do people do this? Then you've got like the postpartum hormones, which were like horrendous. So like I kind of was just like in that mode of like, this is the fucking worst. And obviously I was like happy to have my baby and everything, but it just like was really hard with the hormones. So like one night I was up when Hayden started cluster feeding, which means like they're going through a growth spurt and they literally are feeding like nonstop. Like they take a break, they're back on your boob, like take a break, they need a bottle, like just nonstop feeding. I was up at like, I don't know, it was 3 in the morning or something like that, and I was on TikTok like looking up cluster feeding, and I just started watching all these other videos from like other moms talking about it and going through the same thing, and it just like clicked in my brain one night, and I was like, so many other women are going through the same thing. You're not alone in this. Like, it is what it is. It's temporary. It will pass. And then that mindset change kind of just helped me get through the next few weeks, because the nights just got easier when I just surrendered to like, this is what it is. It's not going to last forever. Like, you're going to get through it. And then it got easier from there. So basically acceptance is what helped me get through it. And I also noticed more recently, like in weeks 7, 8, these past 2 weeks, I've kind of like reminded myself of positive messages too. So like when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm super exhausted, this is the e.l.f. hydrating camo concealer, I'll say to like, I'll remind myself like why what I'm doing is so important. So if it's like 3 a.m. and I wake up and I'm super tired, I just say to myself, Hayden is getting the sustenance he needs right now to grow, and I'm giving that to him. Like, this is gonna help him grow up and be strong. This is helping him sleep better. And I just like kind of tell myself those affirmations and those reminders of like why I'm doing what I'm doing and how it helps him. And that has also just like helped me get through the nighttime feedings. Which brings me to my next point. It does get better with time. Like literally everybody was just telling me, which you don't want to hear in the beginning, like you just have to wait. Like you just have to get through those first few weeks. And that again is why they call it like you're in survivor mode. You just have to get through them, because it does get easier. And I'm finally at that point. Like I finally feel like a human being, and that started happening for me like I would say like week 7, and now I'm feeling like much better again. He's a little over 8 weeks, and I'm finally sitting down to film, and I feel like I can like handle this at this point. But eventually they do sleep better. It took him a little time. Like he really, some people are like, oh, how to get your baby to sleep through the night. I didn't listen to any of that shit. I feel like your baby either does that or they don't, and Hayden definitely ate pretty frequently overnight, so he was really waking up like every hour and a half to 2 hours. So it was very frequent until like honestly like week 7 was the first time he gave me like a 4-hour stretch, and it was like the best thing ever. And now he's up to like a 5-hour stretch in the beginning of the night. So like maybe we put him down at like 10 or 10:30, and he'll sleep till like 3 or 3:30 now, which is like my longest stretch, and it's amazing. And then he'll wake up at like 5:30, and then from there it's like every hour, 6:30, 7:30. So like the morning is a little rough, but it's getting better. And when people say like you just gotta get through it, you just gotta get through it. It will get better. Okay, the next point is listen to your body when it comes to feeding your baby. This is huge. Every woman is different. I'm not gonna get into the debate of like breastfeeding versus formula. Like literally is whatever is best for you and your baby, and whatever you guys decide, your baby's gonna be great. This is the blush balm from Flower Beauty. I've had this forever. I think this is in the shade Cinnamon. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna put this on. Just do like a little dab like that. So for me, I won't get into like my whole like pumping breastfeeding journey, but we did a combo feed from the get-go, because Hayden was born at 37 weeks and he needed to, his blood sugar levels were a little low and he needed to gain weight. So we did formula and breast milk from the beginning. So I was like very go with the flow about it. And it was like liquid formula. We did Similac, but now I'm more breastfeeding majority of the time, and we're still combo feeding. So I've kind of gone like this. I tried to do exclusive pumping in the beginning, and I talked about this in a video, but it like severely impacted my mental health. And I noticed that because just the whole process of pumping, you're doing like 2 times the work. I'm cleaning all these parts, I'm pumping, I'm breastfeeding him, we're using formula. It was so much. And I just noticed that every time I sat down to pump, I was literally getting like depressed, and it was making me sad, because it's not that same like bonding feeling as when you're doing like nursing with your baby. And then my friend Vicky was like, why don't you just try nursing and like stop pumping? If it's making you sad, like why are you doing it? And then that's when it clicked in my brain, like listen to your body. Don't force your body to do something if it's not working for you. And that's when I was like, pumping ain't working for me anymore. And guess what? It was fucking amazing. And it was the best decision I made. So now in the last few weeks, I've kind of been like exclusively nursing, and then we've been doing 1 to 2 formula bottles with the Similac, basically like overnight, so that gives him longer stretches, and that worked out so much better for us. I'm gonna use the Maybelline Fit Me powder. So now where we're at is, again, I'm 8 weeks in, so now I've been breastfeeding for a while, which has been going great. I'm very happy with like where he's at. I make just enough for him. If I have extra, because I will pump a little bit, then I will save that or freeze it, but I'm not making like a crazy supply or anything that you see people do on TikTok and you're like, how the fuck do they have so much milk? It's like crazy. Nothing like that. But because he turned 2 months, we switched to a powder formula because I think the Similac might have been too much. It was making him a little gassy, I think. I wanted to try something else, so we switched to the Bobby formula, which is organic, and he's been on that for 3 days now, and so far so good. I think we're gonna stick with it. So I know it sounds complicated, but now I'm starting to feel like breastfeeding I want to wean off as he gets closer to daycare. So right now I'm like pumping a little bit 2 times a day maybe, and then breastfeeding him during the day, and then he's getting 3 combo bottles, which sounds confusing, but it's basically like a formula and a breast milk bottle. So I'm kind of like supplementing, but eventually the idea is I'm gonna have breast milk saved up, and we'll still just like combo feed him until we switch to him being like fully formula. But I kind of want him to get to like 5 months or 6 months before we do fully formula. So that's where we're at with all of that. But needless to say, the whole point of that was listen to your body. If nursing isn't working out for you, if pumping isn't working out for you, whatever it is, like do what's best for your mental health, your physical health, switch to formula, find a formula that works for your baby. Baby will be happy, you will be happy. That's what's important. I don't even know what I'm doing makeup wise, to be honest with you guys right now. I'm like literally not even paying attention to what the fuck I'm throwing on my face. So hopefully this looks good in the end. This was the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer that I just put on. Now I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Naked Palette, like throwback. This is the Wild West one. I like this one for like all the browns, like warm tones. So we're just gonna do a super simple look today. I'm gonna throw this on. Okay, my next point is super short and sweet. Babies will literally yeet themselves off of your body. So you have to be so careful. Like once they get a little older, like to where he is, we are working on tummy time with him, so his neck strength is like much better and he can kind of like support his neck. When you're holding them on your shoulder at any given moment, your baby will literally just like jerk their head back or like throw their body, and you just have to be so prepared for when they do that, because their necks are still not strong enough. So you just like really have to watch your child when they are on you, because they will yeet their body. So just pay attention to that. Okay, number 6 is active sleeping will literally throw you off your game. It is so confusing. These are all things I had no fucking idea about, by the way, before motherhood. So if any of you guys are like learning something new, let me know in the comments, because I literally had no clue about half this shit, if not more than half of this. So active sleeping is when they are sleeping, but they make a lot of noises that sound like they're awake, but they're not awake. And it will throw you off, because when you're a new parent in those first few weeks, you're gonna be like, oh my God, they're crying, they're making a noise, I need to pick them up. And then you pick them up and you wake them up when you didn't need to. Torture, literal torture. I did this so many times in the middle of the night, during the day, during his naps. Now I'm much better. So basically what you need to do is kind of just like peer over or look at them. Obviously make sure they're okay, but if their eyes are shut, pause, give them a couple of seconds, and they will either stop and go back to sleep, and then you can go back to sleep, or you can let them nap longer. Or if they like let out a solid cry, this is something I learned from the Taking Care of Babies course. We did like the sleep course, I'm still doing it, but until they let out like a solid cry that lets you know like I need to be picked up, I'm wet, whatever, don't pick them up. And that has been like an absolute game changer. Even I would say I'm much better now, like week 7, 8, in the middle of the night. Now that he's giving me these longer stretches, now like he will make that active sleep noise and I'll hear him, and I'm much better at like ignoring it for a couple seconds, and then usually it goes away and he goes to sleep, and it wasn't like he wasn't awake. So that is like a key thing to think about, because a lot of parents make that mistake and you pick them up when they don't need to be picked up. So that will save you. Also, another funny thing that he does, he will cry or like let out a quick cry before he farts. So like sometimes he's literally just gassy, and like he'll literally cry for a second, and I'll like go over and look at him, and then he'll like let out a huge fart, and then he goes back to sleep. So like for him, I guess it must like, you know, he must like be in pain or something that he's like exerting himself to fart. Like literally that has happened so many times. So yes, active sleep is a bitch. I'm gonna wipe away all of this powder under my eye. Guys, maybe this look will come out cute. I feel like this is like old Emma YouTube videos. If any of you guys have been around, you know, it's just been a while. It's been a while. Okay, this brings me to my next point, number 7. Just trust that your baby can soothe themselves to sleep. This is something I'm very actively working on now. It's hard for me. We're not like fully there yet because he's still pretty young, but I'm starting to try to help him fall asleep independently, because a lot of the times for me right now, he falls asleep when he's nursing or like after a bottle. So it's usually like feed, fall asleep. And we need to like start getting him to fall asleep more. Like we can put him down in the bassinet, like let him cry a little bit and then let him fall asleep. We're still working on it, but some nights are just really hard. And the other night it was like 10:15 or so. He had a full stomach. He just finished fully eating. He didn't want any more. He had a clean diaper. He was showing his sleepy cues. He was yawning. So it was time to go to sleep, and I was rocking him. I was doing everything I can. Me and Brian were like, this kid, his eyes were just like wide open, just like staring at you. And you're like, why are you not tired? Go to sleep. And then that's when Brian was like, put him in the crib. Like just put him in his bassinet. He will go to sleep. And that was like hard for me because I'm used to him being fully asleep, eyes shut, and then I transfer him. And I'm not used to putting him down when his like eyes are open and he looks awake. So I just tried it and I was like, you know what, fine, I will listen to Brian. Let me just like put him down. I put him down. He makes like a couple noises. The kid is out and goes to sleep. And Brian looks at me, he's like, you could have put him down like 10 minutes ago. Like you just prolonged that whole fucking thing. So that's just like hard for me as a mom, but it's something I'm learning. Like I don't need to just like spend 20 minutes like trying to rock him to sleep. It's like totally fine to let them put themselves to sleep. Like you just got to put them down and walk away kind of thing. So that is what we are working on now. And I'm going to try to work on more like doing that with naps during the day, because I really only have done that with like sleep at nighttime when the room is like dark and his white noise machine is on and everything. Nap time is different. Sometimes I will use a pacifier, which brings me, I think this is my next one. Yes, tip number, I think 8, I don't know where I'm at right now, but don't be afraid of using a pacifier. I was kind of like anti-pacifier in the beginning for no reason in particular. I just thought like, you know, some babies get like really attached and I didn't want to introduce it too soon. So we really didn't the first few weeks. And then there was one time where we like put him down and again, we knew he was tired and he just wouldn't go to sleep. And Brian was like, give him a pacifier, like let's just try it. We put a pacifier in his mouth, like literally a minute later, he was out asleep. So just like the sucking sometimes soothes them. So he really doesn't use it that often, but it has been an amazing tool for us to just like calm him sometimes and like help him sleep. So don't be afraid of a pacifier. It's not a bad thing. We use it sparingly, but it actually has helped, so that's good. I'm gonna spray my face with the Milani Make It Last because we're feeling a little bit dry right now. Okay, lock that all in. Okay, next point, let's be quick. Okay, don't be afraid of overfeeding your baby. They're gonna spit up what they don't want. This was much earlier, so like the first 2 weeks. Again, because we were at the hospital and we were doing formula and like my milk supply was coming in, we were hearing like conflicting things from the nurses about like how much to give him, because they tell you the baby's stomach is so small that they can't fit that much. So we were giving him like, you know, slowly upping his bottles, but he was finishing his bottles. And then he would start crying. We were like, why is he crying? He just ate, blah, blah, blah. He was still hungry, but we were so stuck on like the number we were supposed to give him. And then like we just realized, like, fuck the number. If he finishes a bottle and he's still wide awake and still showing like hunger cues, give him more. Babies will literally just spit up what they don't want, and then you know they're done. So that was like a big thing that like, we were just so stuck on the numbers. This is Wet n Wild highlighting powder. It's like an OG classic. So yeah, so that's how I feel now. Like he's taking almost like 4 to 5 ounces in feedings, and then obviously I'm nursing him a lot, so I don't know exactly how much he gets, but he nurses like pretty frequently. That's the thing with breastfeeding, is they burn through it much faster than formula. So there are days where he's nursing every hour, which is a lot. And again, I've just learned like, don't be like, oh, he just ate recently, he must not be hungry. Like, he probably is hungry again. So don't be afraid, and don't try and like stick to the strict like feeding, you know, schedule. I feed on demand. That's just how it's been for us, and that's worked best for us. But yeah, that was just one thing we caught on to really early. And then after we had doctor's appointments and she was like, you can definitely up how much ounces you're giving him, we were like screw it. When he's hungry, if he finishes the bottle, we'll give him more. And we just like kept upping his food, and he gained like literally doubled his birth weight, which is crazy. So now he's up to 10 pounds, 4 ounces, and he's 23 inches long, and he is thriving, which is really exciting. Don't be afraid to overfeed them. They're probably hungry. Okay, and my last 2 points here, guys. This next one's about diapers. How fun. We were like blowing through diapers in the beginning. Like obviously they're going to the bathroom very frequently when they're super little in those first few weeks. But you know, and this, you don't know, okay? All this is like, you don't know. I'm 8 weeks in now. I'm still gonna learn so much shit, but you get the hang of things. I was changing him so frequently, like after every time that he peed, blah, 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 then I would feed him. And then you realize they're gonna like poop and pee right after you feed them. So we were wasting so many diapers because he would wake up from a nap. I would be like, oh, he's wet. I would change him, feed him. He'd like pee or poop in the feed, and then I'd have to change him again like 30 minutes later, and I was blowing through so many diapers. So if it's like a little bit of pee, I'll leave him in it, I'll feed him, and then sometimes he poops while he's feeding. So I'm like not wasting double the diapers anymore. So don't be afraid. Like obviously if it's a lot of pee and they're like crying and they're uncomfortable, change them. But if there's just like a little bit of wetness, I'll let him chill for a little bit. Same thing like overnight. When he was waking up like every 2 hours, I was changing his diaper every 2 hours too, and it was like the same thing. Like sometimes it would be so little pee, I was like, Emma, you just wasted a diaper and you just woke him up more. You know what I mean? Like don't do that. You're gonna wake them up more by changing them. Like I could have changed the diaper every other, you know, feed in the middle of the night. So that's been a huge game changer. Unless he feels like super wet or he's like super cranky, then I don't change him as frequently, and it's so much better. It's really hard to do my friggin' eyebrows. Also, if any of this is like resonating for you, like if you are expecting or if you're a new parent, please comment below. Or if your kids are like grown up and this is giving you like literally flashbacks, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm done with the brows. I don't really care how those look. And then I'm gonna use the Milk. This is the Kush Clear Brow Gel. This whole line is like super dope, but it's this cute little brush. Brush this up. Okay, and then this last one is gonna like, this one's gonna get deep for a second. It's gonna hit home for some of you guys. Also, what else do I have to do? Oh yeah, mascara. Like, hello, where's my mascara? Okay, this is like my $4 Lash Paradise. No, sorry, Lash Princess from Essence. This is gonna look so shitty right now, but I'm just gonna throw this on. Okay, my last point, guys. Lesson that I learned. It's okay if you don't love being a mom in the beginning. Because everyone asks you like, oh my god, are you in love? Like, are you obsessed? Blah, blah, blah. To be honest with you, the first few weeks I was not in love with being a mom. I really struggled with the new role, and it was like a lot to get used to. And I would say probably in the last 2 weeks, again, like as I've settled into things and I feel more confident with like myself, I feel more confident with Hayden, we're understanding each other better, like we're getting it. Now I'm like in that, like I'm literally obsessed with him. He's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love being his mom. Like we're gelling. So now I'm like, yes, I love being a mom, but it's okay if you don't love it in the beginning, because I didn't. And I was honest with my friends. Some people were like, are you loving it? And I was like, no, I'm really not loving it. It's really fucking hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It is the most challenging thing that has ever pushed me in my life. I had literal identity crises. The sleep deprivation was rough. There were so many nights where you're waking up in the middle of the night to feed your baby and you're just like, I don't want to do this. Like and then you just feel so bad thinking that, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Like I would wake up and I'd be like, I don't want to do this. I have to drag myself out of bed right now. Like this is so exhausting. This is so fucking hard. But you do it and you just look at your little angel baby, and that's why they're so cute, because you just look at their face and you're like, you aren't so cute, man. Not be getting up out of bed right now. But yeah, once you're like awake, and I was sitting there like giving him his bottle or nursing him, it like made it all worth it. But yeah, I just wanted to be honest about that one, because now again, like now I'm like that, like the light is at the end of the tunnel. I'm feeling like myself again, like I'm doing my activities, like I have time to do a couple things because I have help, thank God. But in those first few weeks, the hardest thing for me is it feels like it's never ending. Like you literally feel like this is your new life and this is like how it's gonna be forever. and you're never going to be yourself again, and you're never going to be able to do things for yourself. Like, that's literally how it felt. And I just like had a full-blown identity crisis. And I had moments where I was like, I want my old life back. I had moments where I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this. Like, there were all of those moments that came up for me. Plenty of tears were shed, plenty of anxiety and all of that stuff. But we got through it and worked through it. And I'm actually really grateful for all of the work I did on myself leading up to it. Like, I genuinely feel like it was like the right timing for me, because I'm like, all of the mindset changes I've had to prepare me, because like when I tell you, I had to like give myself like positive affirmations in my brain. Like, I had to constantly just be like hyping myself up, or like telling myself things are gonna be okay. Yeah, that's like what got me through it, to be honest with you. This is like one of my favorite lip liners. I love this one. It's like almost down to the nub. This is NYX. I think this one's in Nude Truffle. So good. And this lipstick I've been loving lately. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Hold on. Actually, whatever, it's fine. I'll use this one. This one's great too. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Warm Peach. This one's really pretty. We're on very like brown vibes. Very like 90s. I also realized I didn't do like my inner corner here. So final thoughts to wrap it up. The last thing I will say too is like leaning on your community, your friends, your family, like genuinely got me through the dark days. Like, I could not thank my other mom friends more, because now I get it. Like, before you have kids, you just don't get it. And once you have kids, I've never felt more grateful for my friends who have kids. I've never like had more appreciation for parents. I've never had more respect for parents. Like, you go through the trenches and only other moms get it. And like Vicky, Shannon, Ashley, like my friend Lauren, like just so many people were amazing. BB8, like everyone who like checked in, I appreciated it so much, because like you just like need to talk to other people who have gone through it, and like they need to tell you like you're gonna survive and you're gonna be fine. Like, you just need to hear that from other people. So it really does get you through it. I've joined like Facebook groups too. That was helpful. My girl M, like, it's just, yeah, you need to lean on your community. So I think everything's done. Am I missing anything, guys, other than my eyeshadow probably having mascara on it? Let's just fix that. Okay, pull out the little hairs in the front. Okay, cute, guys. We survived. Anyway, that's where I've been. These are the feelings we've been having. Like I said, I feel like I've done a full like identity shift in the last 8 weeks. It has been so much. It completely breaks you down as a person, and you have to literally rebuild yourself. So I feel like stronger and tougher mentally. Now I'm like really excited to like physically get back in shape. Like, I'm ready to start working out again. I'm just ready to like do the things that I would normally do beforehand. It's just finding the time. So again, I'm really grateful my mom is here watching the baby, and I was like, Mom, I just need like 2 to 3 hours to just like film as much as possible, and that will make me feel better. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. But you guys, I'm so excited to be back and to chat with you guys some more and keep building on this community, because it's been a beautiful journey with having this YouTube channel the last, oh my God, like literally 7 years. It's been insane. So I hope you enjoyed this video and just catching up with me on what life has been like. Plenty of rave content, EDM content, all that stuff is coming, guys. It's not going anywhere. We just, we are leaning into the mom phase of our life and what is happening. So again, if you want to like catch up on like what has been going on, I have like so many like daily blogs and stuff like that up on Instagram and TikTok. That's like really where I check in with you daily if you want to follow me over there. Other than that, I think that's it right now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this. You know the drill. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.